What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today I've got a story time for you guys about the time this dude's dad tried to break into my house to get revenge at me for beating his son at a game in the neighborhood. Yeah, it really do be like that sometimes. Regardless, it should be a pretty entertaining video. Before we get into it, though, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. Your neighbor's gonna try to break into your house and fight you for beating them at a game, and trust me, it's just very awkward to explain to your parents what's going on. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it.
It's so good, it's not good. Nice rack in her ass Brazilian. Just turned 21, but my bank's a million. Swear I'm a little drunk, but it's a hell of a feeling.
Alright, so every now and then we would have these like neighborhood games with all the kids that would get a little bit intense, you know, and there was one kid in particular who lived up the street who really wouldn't let stuff go no matter what. We would be playing hockey or football outside, like just a pickup game, and his team would lose, and he would throw a temper tantrum and cry and freak out and try to fight everybody on the other team. Like, basically, no matter what happened, if this kid lost, he would freak out, and it would literally just be pickup games in the neighborhood. No reason for him to have a temper tantrum whatsoever, but he would literally fight people over this stuff. And because of that, nobody really would like invite him to be on their team during neighborhood games. He would just kind of invite himself and play by himself, or like just join a team. But because he kind of had anger issues and was constantly trying to fight everybody, like, we would just kind of avoid hanging out with him, which I know sounds pretty mean, but trust me, this story is kind of the reason why. Regardless, one week there was a kid on our street who saw this game online called Assassin, where like you would run around with highlighters, and if you mark somebody on the back of their calf with a highlighter, then they were, you know, assassinated, and like that was how you played the game. And if you got marked, then you were out for the rest of the day. And all the kids in our neighborhood were like, wow, that sounds really fun. And to be honest with you, that's because it is a bunch of fun. Like, it sounds really immature, but I'm gonna be honest, it's pretty harmless. Like, all you're doing is marking people with a highlighter, and it's a pretty fun game, especially when everybody's pretty into it and like taking it seriously, running around trying to hide from each other. It's a pretty good time. And as soon as he found it, he went around and told the whole neighborhood, and because we were a bunch of nerds, we all instantly were like, hell yeah, this is gonna be great. And people got really into it. You know, a couple of kids started making their own like brotherhoods because Assassin's Creed was really popular at the time, so they had like these collectives, basically a team in the game, and they would kind of patrol the neighborhood together with certain highlighter colors. Like, I'll never forget, dude, I'm not even kidding, there was a group of kids who would wear those zip-up Minecraft creeper hoodies because they thought they looked like the Assassin's Creed get-ups, you know, like Ezio with the hood over them, and they had green highlighters, and they would like run around hunting other kids. So just imagine hanging out outside and you would see a group of creepers just chasing a kid down the street, chasing him, being like, get him, with their highlighters in the hand, and the other kids just like running full speed. But everybody was in on it, you know, like if somebody wasn't playing, you were just kind of supposed to leave them alone, because that's just the normal thing to do. You shouldn't just go down chasing people who aren't playing. But of course, the one kid who takes things too seriously always, who I'm gonna name Derek for the rest of the story time, was just not having fun with it. Like, he really wanted to play, but no brotherhoods wanted them to be a part of him because he always took things too seriously and would like try to fight with people, so everybody was just kind of avoiding having him on the team. And in response to like not having a team to be on, instead of playing the game by himself for a bit by the rules and kind of like getting people to realize that he was willing to play nice, he just started doing things that were absolutely ridiculous for the point of the game. So, as I've said, the point of the game is to just mark people with a highlighter, right? Well, he decided, since no one wanted to be on his team, that he was going to become the best at it. And the entire point of the game was to either get chased down by people that are faster than you, or like outsmart somebody, catch them off guard. You're supposed to basically have to outplay somebody. But this kid literally just started like chasing people down on his bike so you couldn't get away. And then he would run kids over with his bike. I'm not even kidding. Like, full speed. He would just hit kids with his bike, knock them over, hurt them because he would be flying downhill on a bike to chase you down. And then he would mark their calf. And because like you're injured, you can't get him back, you know? A lot of times there was a little bit of a risk like chasing somebody down because they could always just be like tired, you know, and turn around and just try to mark you back. And at that point you're both out. But like, yeah, when a kid literally runs you down with a bike and while you're hurt on the ground crying marks your calf, it's kind of just an unfair advantage advantage. So obviously, nobody really wanted to play with him, but like, whenever you were outside playing, he would just do it. You would just be minding your business, going to check the mail or something, and here this guy would come and just run you over with his bike and mark your calf. So obviously, nobody really liked playing with him, but he thought it was totally cool because, oh, I'm winning, like you guys are just hating me because I'm winning. And listen, sometimes people are gonna hate you when you're winning, dude, but nah, it's pretty understandable why all the kids in the neighborhood were not giant fans of having just some rogue dude running around running everybody over in the name of like winning the game, because it's just not that deep. So obviously, that made everybody hate him even more. Like, that made everybody really not want to hang out or be doing anything with him ever when he started doing all that garbage. And obviously, there's going to be some people in the comments, like, maybe that's why he was mad. But yeah, nah, you don't get the invite after you start running people over. And what makes it even worse is this kid was a little bit older than us. Like, we were probably, 11, 12 at the time. And this is like a 14-year-old running over 10-year-olds on his bike to win at a game. It's just not cool. He was definitely in the wrong. And I'm not gonna feel bad for like telling this story, but regardless, that's just what was going on. He was like running people over with it. So imagine this dude taking this game so seriously that like when everyone else is trying to play normally, he's running people over with his bike, going and saying to win, and it's just not that deep. Like, it was just supposed to be a fun little variation of tag. That's really all it was supposed to be. It was never supposed to be anything more than that. So there's no reason for him to be trying this hard because there's not a prize. Like, I can even understand, him sweating this hard, running people over if there was money on the line or like a trophy even, because YOLO, some people take stuff like that a little bit too seriously, and I'm not going to be the one to tell them that like there's no reason to chase it if there's something to win. But yeah, when you're trying this hard and actually hurting people for nothing, you're just annoying. And regardless, one day we're just all outside playing, and I had a blue highlighter in my hand, and I see Derek, and he's in my front yard, like hiding in this bush. We had this big bush in our front yard, and our house at the time was on the corner, so it was kind of like a good vantage point. You can kind of see where everybody was and where everybody was going. So for the purpose of the game, hiding in that bush was pretty good. So I see Derek in the bush in my front yard. So, I'm obviously like, hey, here's my chance to sneak up on him because he's in my front yard, and he doesn't realize that he's sitting right in front of the gate from the backyard. And our backyard had a gate on either side, so it would be pretty easy for me to like go in one side of the backyard and sneak up on him on the other side of the backyard. And because he's always a jerk, I wanted to get him out. So I basically decided to do it. So I'm sneaking through the backyard, and I'm tiptoeing like Sly Cooper. I'm just doing my thing, and I'm staying silent to get behind him without him knowing. So he's sitting in this bush to get a view of people coming by, kind of like some ghillie suit energy. And one thing you gotta know about him is he was constantly bragging about the fact that nobody had ever been able to get him out before. And the reason nobody had ever been able to get him out before is usually when he would tag people, they were like injured on the ground crying. So yeah, they weren't really focused on marking him back. So I knew that like when I had snuck up on him, he was gonna get pissed because it was literally his main bragging point whenever he was talking to anyone, how good he was at assassin. But regardless, I sneak up on him, I go through my backyard, and he doesn't see me. So now I'm standing behind him with my highlighter, and he's wearing shorts. You had to wear shorts to play the game, because obviously, like, if you're wearing jeans, it's impossible for people to mark your calf, so he had to be wearing shorts, and I just marked him with the blue highlighter really calmly, and I was just like, boom, you're out. That's all I said. I just marked him and said you were out. He's sitting in my front yard in my bush. I had snuck up on him, and I wasn't trying to fight with him. I just wanted to get him out. Not to mention, as I've said, the game literally respawns the next day. So yeah, I got him, but like the next day he's back anyways. So there really was no reason for him to be upset whatsoever. Apparently though, in his tiny little brain, dude, his primitive caveman monkey brain, he just decided that like, whatever, there's no way he could be out. So as soon as I mark him, his response, instead of just, aw man, dang it, and going back home for the day or getting out of the bush, is to spin around and just swing on me. And he like swings on me. Thankfully, it's pretty slow. I'm sure it's hard to get a pretty fast punch when you're halfway inside of a bush. Like, that's probably pretty difficult to get some momentum. So I'm able to step out of the way relatively easily. Like, I'm not trying to pretend I'm Mike Tyson out here dodging punches. He punched pretty slow, and I like back out of the way, obviously, and I'm caught off guard considering I didn't scare him. I didn't like talk trash and jump on him. All I did was reach out and just mark the back of his calf with this highlighter and just say, you're out. I was not trying to throw hands, but he just turned and swung on me for no reason. Regardless, after he swings on me, I take a step back and I just tell him to chill out, obviously, because I'm not trying to fight over this game, dude. Like, if I'm gonna fight you over anything, it's not gonna be the stupid game that we all learned off YouTube and are playing, and like, you're literally sitting in my front yard, dude. I don't know what you want me to do. So I just tell him to chill out, and he starts screaming about me, about how it's cheating to do what I just did, and like, I'm a cheater and whatnot, and I'm obviously confused because I didn't do anything to cheat. All I did was sneak up on him. So I start asking him to explain how I'm cheating, and he just kind of starts stammering and doesn't actually have an explanation. So I start being like, look, dude, you don't even know how I cheated. Look how dumb you look right now. Like, you're accusing me of cheating and you don't even know how I cheated. Do you understand how ridiculous that makes you look? And obviously that just pissed him off more, but that was kind of the whole point. And he just keeps screaming about how I cheated and he's gonna get revenge, and apparently it's against the rules to sneak up on people, which, keep in mind, the game is literally called Assassin. That's like the entire point, is to sneak up on people to get rid of them, you know? It's not to be a super nice guy and like strap a siren to the top of your head and have it blaring, here I come, here I come, here I come. Like, yes, in a game called Assassin, there is an aspect of the game where you're just supposed to sneak up on people. I don't even feel like that's supposed to be rocket science, but we're in my front yard and he's screaming at me how I'm cheating and whatnot and how I'm ruining the game and blah, 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 and making it unfair. So all the other kids that are outside start kind of like coming over just to see what's going on, because he's making quite the commotion and he's freaking out and like trying to fight me. So as kids start coming into the neighborhood, he kind of realizes people are watching. So to look cool, he like tries to tackle me, and I'm trying to get him off of me. So we're fighting, but not really. It's kind of like that half wrestling, half punching each other fighting, and a bunch of kids are around us. And finally, I like throw him off me, and some other kids kind of hold him back. He wasn't a very big kid, so I think he just more tried to tackle me to try to look cool. And so now people are holding him back, and he wasn't really like saying anything while we were fighting, but as soon as people were holding him back, he starts being all tough, which, you know, people love to do that, dude. Like, once they're being held back, they start talking a bunch of trash, whereas 30 seconds ago when they were actually fighting you, they were saying nothing. It's just a little ridiculous, but he starts spewing all this nonsense about how, like, oh, I'm gonna get revenge on you, and my dad's gonna teach you a lesson, and I'm really gonna regret this and whatnot, and he hates me, and like, listen, I understand after a fight you're a little bit emotional, dude, but wow, oh no, you're gonna threaten that you and your dad are gonna teach me a lesson and get revenge because I tagged you with a highlighter, dude? Like, it's really not that deep. I was just playing the game the way it was supposed to be played. I saw you sitting somewhere and knew that there was a chance for me to get you out, so that's exactly what I did. I don't understand why this kid is so pressed at me, literally just playing the game the way it's supposed to be played, but he's freaking out, and then his friends are like holding him back, and half the neighborhood is just sitting there watching it. And once his friends took him away, which they did after a bit, everybody was kind of coming up to me and being like, yo, good job, like, that guy's such a jerk, no one's ever got him out before, like, good job. So most of the neighborhood was pretty happy that I had snuck up on him and gotten him out, but him and his friends obviously like sulked away, and they weren't really friends with him, you know. They were just the older kids that didn't want to look weak by like siding with a lot of the younger kids, because they didn't really play with him either. Like, as I said, the Derek kid was a little bit too extreme for anyone to really be hanging out with, but they just kind of like, you know, thought that because he was older, he was cooler than everybody. But one thing that all the other kids in the neighborhood were saying is that, like, I should be a little bit afraid of him getting revenge, because every other time he had said that he was gonna, you know, get back at somebody in the neighborhood, he usually did, whether it was, you know, running them over with his bike or bullying them. Like, he was just a jerk, dude. He was a jerk. And his dad was a jerk, too. His dad was one of those dads that definitely peaked in high school and was now, like, trying to live vicariously through his son, you know, giving him tips on like how to bully kids because it was the family tradition. It was a little bit like the family business. And as soon as they heard that I got threatened by his dad, that like him and his dad were going to teach me a lesson, all the other kids in the neighborhood were like pretty afraid, you know. They were like, dude, aren't you afraid that, you know, he's going to get revenge on you? And I'm going to be honest, I really wasn't. I didn't think anything of it because I've never really understood people that use their dad as a threat. Like, yeah, dude, I'm sure your 35-year-old dad can beat me up, but that really shouldn't be a surprise considering that I'm literally a child. Like, genuinely, it should not be a shock that your 35-year-old dad has the capability to beat up an 11-year-old. And even then, if your 35-year-old dad is sitting there like after work, he comes home from his job and you run in there telling him about how you and the neighborhood kids play a game where you mark each other with highlighters and you got marked out because someone snuck up on you and it wasn't fair. And his first thought is, oh my God, me as a grown man better go fight that kid. Then your dad's just kind of stupid and I don't care anyways, dude. Like, yeah, sure, he can beat me up, but that really shouldn't matter considering the fact that he's like a grown man. Like that should just be obvious. I know that was a little bit of a rant, but I hate when people do that. Oh, my dad could beat you up. Yeah, probably. I was 11. That's just not a flex. Regardless, the neighborhood kids are obviously a little bit nervous for me, but whatever. Swing around your giant 35-year-old man-child as a threat. It's just like The Rock beating me up. It's just not that hard because I'm a little kid. Anyways, I go about my day just vibing, but apparently the kid is going around telling everybody in the neighborhood that like him and his dad are going to teach me a lesson and I'm going to learn the hard way. So he's hyping it up to everybody but me that, he's going to get revenge. And to my face, he's acting super nice, acting like everything is cool, oh yeah, no, we're good, bro. You got me, well played. And behind me, as soon as I'm leaving, he's telling everybody how much he hates me and he's going to make me pay. But like as soon as he leaves, they're telling me it's just a disaster. There are no secrets. This guy thinks he's being sneaky and he's just not. So whatever. I'm just expecting his dad to like yell at me for sneaking up on you, which in my defense, you're literally in my yard, so I don't know how I could sneak up on you. Like maybe if you don't want people to scare you, you should be sitting in your own yard in your own bush. And you know what? My dog peed in the bush he was sitting in anyways quite often, so he was sitting in the pee bush. So haha, joke's on you. You probably inhaled a lot of disgusting things that my dog peed out, you idiot. Whatever, I'm just doing my thing, not really sweating it. And that night, my family is just chilling out watching some TV on the couch, which we did not very often. It was like one of the rare times we were all together watching TV on the couch. And the way that our living room is situated, we had like our couch behind us, and behind the couch were these French doors out to the backyard. And we had a basset hound at the time, like he's passed away since, but at the time we had a basset hound, and he's just going bonkers at the back door like there's something out there. So one thing about basset hounds, for anyone who has one, is like they always bark and go crazy. It's not a very rare thing for them to just kind of go ballistic whenever there's any movement in the backyard. So whenever he would do that, it wasn't, very rare. So nobody's really thinking anything of it, but for whatever reason, he just keeps going crazy at the back door over and over and over again, even more than normal. So finally, my dad gets up to go see what he's barking at because he just won't stop. And he sees two people on the back patio, like hiding behind the patio furniture. And the way that the patio at the house was, there was like this fan with a light on it. And they're in the light, crouched down behind these patio chairs. But the patio chairs are the type that are like plastic and really small. So it's a grown man and what appears to be like a teenage kid just hiding behind our patio furniture, and that's what my dog's been going crazy at. So obviously my dad tells my mom to like stay here with me and my brother, and he opens the door and just yells. He's like, "What are you doing out here?" And both of the people stand up from behind the patio furniture and just take off running. But the backyard, as I've said, has these fences on either end, and for whatever reason, instead of opening the fence and continuing the run, the grown man goes to like jump the fence but fails. But he's already moving so fast that he just kind of like body slams into the side of the fence, and it makes the noise that, slamming into a fence does, that metal like sound, and he kind of slams into it and falls on the ground, and the teenage figure is just kind of standing there looking down because I don't know, whenever you see like a grown man just slam his body into the fence, it's probably just a very confusing thing. So obviously my dad runs over at that point and like pins down the guy who's just standing there, or laying there now after he slammed into the fence. And we have the Scooby-Doo moment where like the mask gets pulled off. They weren't wearing masks, but pretty soon it's found out that it's Derek and his dad. And they're like, we can explain. And they start trying to tell my dad that they were going to wait in the backyard until I came out later with the dog, and then they were going to mark me for the assassin game, dude. This grown man and his son were literally just sitting in my backyard, hiding behind my patio furniture, which, as I said, was just plastic chairs, dude. I don't know if they thought that was like a good hiding place or that I wouldn't have seen them or something, but they were sitting in my backyard waiting for me to come outside so that way they could beat me at the neighborhood game to get revenge at me for tagging a kid who was hiding in my front yard. Like, if that's not the just most pathetic grown man thing you've ever heard ever. This dude is a father, and him and his kid were like, hey, it's a Friday night, better just go sit in someone's backyard behind some lawn chairs and hope for the best. Definitely no way that makes us look pathetic whatsoever. Not realizing that, nah, it just makes them look super, super creepy. Hi, I'm gonna interrupt the video for a second. This is an Xbox gift card code on screen. Whoever gets it, gets it. That being said, I do give one away every day. It's just a little thank you to all my subscribers. Apparently, like, half the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, so if you're not already, you should subscribe. It's free. You can always unsubscribe if you don't like my videos, and I literally give away free money, so you have nothing to do, or nothing to lose, sorry. Other than that, press the like button, comment, and let's get back into the video. Thank you, and I'll give away another one tomorrow. Bye. And my dad just kind of looks at him and is like, well, what if he didn't come into the backyard? And they say that they would probably have just come into the house and tagged me. This dude was really about to stage a home invasion to get revenge on me for getting his son's calf with a highlighter, bro. Like, what did he think my family would have done if all of a sudden these people dressed in black just stormed into the house while we were all watching TV, grabbed me, and just started like hitting my calf with something that they didn't know what it was? Sure, it's only a highlighter and they're playing a game, but like, do you think my parents know that, dude? Do you think my parents have any clue what's going on if you just run into my house playing this game? That's how you get a felony charge, because that's literally home invasion. Some parents just won't let their kid take the L, and trust me, if you're ever at the point where like you're about to do a breaking and entering home invasion and interrupt some random person's family time with their family because your kid lost at a neighborhood game, you're one of those people and you should probably just chill out, because that's not going to teach your kid anything, dude. Like, oh yeah, dad, this kid tagged me. I know, son, let's go hide in his backyard and basically do a home invasion. That'll teach him never to tag you again. It's like, nah, bro, it's just gonna make everybody aware of the fact that you're a crazy person, because that's what crazy people do. Like, only really, really crazy people are ever out there. Oh, hey, what's poppin'? I'm just here to let you know that I've been waiting in your backyard for 3 hours because your 12-year-old kid was playing a neighborhood game and beat my son at it, even though my son is constantly breaking the rules and hurting other people. Like, it would be one thing if I cheated or did anything dirty, but I just beat the cheater at his own game, bro, and it's not even cheating. As I've said, I don't know how it's against the rules to sneak up at somebody in a game called Assassin. Anyways, after that garbage explanation, my dad ends up telling this guy in like no uncertain terms that if he ever comes around the house again, he's gonna call the cops, after yelling at him that he's out of his mind and like he had the mind to beat him up and all that and whatnot, which I know some people in the comments are gonna be like, oh, violence is never the answer, but I don't know, if I'm ever a dad and like a grown man is hiding in my backyard trying to like bait my son to come outside so that way he can tag him for a game and teaching his son that it's okay to do the same, yeah, I don't, my response would probably be pretty similar, because like, that's insane, dude. I don't know why some people just do horrible things with their kids and then are all surprised Pikachu when they turn out bad. Like, if you teach your kid that the proper response to someone pissing them off is to wait in their backyard, you can't be surprised when you're a kid inevitably goes to prison, because, it's just a matter of time until he does that to the wrong person, or something worse happens to your son. Let's be honest. Like, if you're in certain states, okay, I'm on the West Coast, it's not happening. You're in Texas or something, that's a dangerous game to be playing. I would just not want to take the gamble, which, it's just not worth it, dude. But yeah, basically I had a grown man stalking me because I beat his kid at the marker game and literally told my dad to his face that he was willing to just break into the house in the middle of us all watching TV to get me out if it meant that it would make his son look better in terms of the neighborhood. And what's even crazier than that is like, his plan was to just go tell everyone in the neighborhood that they did that. He didn't expect every other parent to be like, oh my god, you're a crazy person, and not want their kids playing with his kid anymore. He just thought everyone would be like, oh yeah, that's a perfectly normal, valid response to a neighborhood game. Anyways, after that, the dude kind of got the hint and ended up staying away, which, my dad's not like very scary, but yeah, it's probably a wake-up call when you're like tackled on the ground late at night in the middle of someone else's backyard backyard with your kid getting yelled at because you took the highlighter game too seriously. I don't know if he was just too embarrassed or like realized he was a grown man, maybe a little bit of both, but they never came around after that. But the bad news is the game also ended up stopping after that, because once all the other parents heard about what happened and like the incident, they obviously just didn't want their kids getting involved, because the last thing they wanted is, parents fighting all over the place and whatnot. And that Derek kid still was taking it seriously. Like, after it came out that his dad came over and basically was trying to break into the house to get me, nobody wanted to play. And then kids started telling their parents about Derek like running them over with bikes and whatnot and showing them all the road rashes they had. And parents really weren't cool after that, because they just thought the game like took things too far, which really sucks, because the game was a blast. It was literally just that one kid that would take it too far, and he really just had to ruin it for everybody. So Derek, if you're watching this and you know who you are, thanks for ruining it, bro. We had a great time until you showed up, and I hope your dad is doing better, no longer trying to hunt kids down to beat them at neighborhood games, bro, because he probably needs a therapist or something. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought of the video. Go ahead and comment the word, highlighter down below. If you've made it this far, just lets me know that you guys are getting to the end of it, and I would appreciate it, and it helps me get more views. As I've said, if you're new, subscribe, turn on notifications. I post videos every single day, and you don't want to miss it. And if you want more content, I do have a podcast known as the Scuffed Cast. I'll put a link at the top of the description. We post pretty often, and it's pretty fantastic content over there. Other than that, a couple more things that I gotta plug. My TikTok is at Scrubby Stories and at Scrubby with 2 S's. They are both mine. Check out the merch, OG Sub Club and the Haha merch. They're both pretty fantastic, if I do get to say so myself, but I am pretty biased. And other than that, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Don't get anybody pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I'll see you guys all next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.